And we're back after a brief break. You're watching South Texas Crossfire with Attorney Joe Flores. And also, we've had Agustin Rivera Jr., who's running for judge. We've had General Cisneros, the top Latino general from this area and from the state. And he ran campaigns, throughout the world. And he was a 3-star general appointed by President Clinton. And we were honored to have him on about education. And now it's my pleasure to bring on a candidate for Senator, United States Senator, and boy, do we need some help. And he's running against John Cornyn, and I like the way this sounds. And we have our local young lion of the party, Joseph Ramirez, with him. Welcome, Joseph.
¿Cómo estamos, Joe? Nice to be here.
Dr. Alameel, how are you?
Thank you.
Did I pronounce that right?
Alameel.
Alameel. Bueno,
yes.
Entonces, Alameel. We were talking about your background a little bit. You come from a humble background. You've been here 40 plus years, and you now have children that had children.
Yes.
So
I'm very proud of them.
Yeah, tell me about your education, training background, where you grew up.
I grew up in the Holy Land, Israel. My parents were Lebanese, and I was raised taught by Jesuits, and moved to Lebanon for 6 years, where my parents are. And when I was 20, I moved here to California, and I was very poor. I started in gas stations, met my wife. I worked we moved to Oxnard with her family, and I worked in the fields of California as a farm laborer. I was picking strawberries and chilies. They would pay me $1.35 a bucket. And then I joined the military for 3 years. And
Thank you for serving.
I was very proud to serve, and they stationed me in Fort Sam Houston, San Antonio for 3 years. And I was going to college during that time. And then I got accepted to the Health Science Center, and I graduated from there. And then we moved to Dallas. Together we started building a business, my wife and I. And we were serving the Hispanic community. We grew all over North Texas, and then we sold our business 5 years ago, and we built foundations and scholarships and stuff, and I wanted to make a difference and give back to my community and my country, and I decided to run for U.S. Senate.
Well, we have a lot in common. As the young lion here, Mr. Ramirez will attest, we're very passionate about scholarships. We founded Education is Our Freedom down here and have sent over 700 primarily Latinos to college that could not afford it. And so we're trying to work even more down here and do it. And the Kennedy Foundation too helps people get a Catholic or Jesuit training like you did. All you smart guys go. I have a Dr. Muro, one of my favorite viewers out there, Dr. Muro. He was in Northern California, and he was Jesuit trained. Smartest guy. He took the law entrance exam just because he could. And of course he aced it, but he chose medicine. So I'm glad you're running. A lot of people don't, when they go pull that lever, they don't recognize who that person is because they haven't met him. So I'm glad you have the opportunity to meet 200,000 people down here right now. We're block walking. What would you like to tell them about why you think that there is change that is needed desperately in Texas?
The most important thing is that many in the Latino communities are immigrants like I am, like my wife, and they want to succeed. My wife and I now are very successful, and I achieved the American dream. I want every Latino family that starts like I did to be able to have that middle class dream. And the only way to get it is through education. I want quality education, affordable quality education, including higher education, to be available for all our children, regardless of whether they live in a wealthy neighborhood or a poor neighborhood. They deserve the best quality education they can get. That's the only way to get the best and the brightest to go to the top, not just the privileged few. And I believe that many Latinos will be big success stories like we were if we give them quality education.
And the question to both of you all, and I'll ask our Democratic chair first, what have you seen? I know that you are angry, as I am, about the cuts that we have in education that have hurt women and children in Texas. But how does this play on the national stage?
Well, I've said it time and time again, Joe. The Republican leadership, once Texas school children became 51% of the school children in Texas, the Hispanic children, is when we saw a drastic cut to education. Is it a coincidence? Who knows? But we do know that at that time we started seeing the cuts. We saw the cuts from the Pell Grants, which is where that comes from federal funds. And the thing here is to be able to find some way to work together. Right now we have basically there's cones up in the highway of government, and there's a do not pass type of attitude in our government. The Republicans are blocking anything from happening right now. What we need to do is start the communication, so that now that we do have a record number of Hispanic in our schools, not only are they able to go to the Head Start, not only are they able to take advantage of a good school system, but then they have access to higher education as well. The Pell Grants was something that was, used, and I don't want to throw out any numbers, but the amount of Hispanics that used the Pell Grants is tremendous, and that's something that, of course, was cut back and just gutted out by Republican leadership. It's okay for them to come on in and cut at the knees the people who need it most, but they turn a blind eye when it's it's either corporations or the top 1%, as they like to call it. It's okay for them to get away with the stuff or not make cuts to their budgets.
Well, and the question to the candidate, the good doctor, what would you change that's different between what Senator Cruz and what Senator Cornyn are doing at the United States level? What could you bring back home to Texas as far as health care? We're all worried about that, and education. What is your goal if elected as United States Senator, God willing?
Well, obviously, the most important thing first is to reform our immigration law so that all the law-abiding people working here that are not documented could find not only a work permit but a path to citizenship, and then their kids will get citizenship. Then they can have quality education to get the dream. The middle class dream is very important. The middle class dream is about us working, having the right to work and earn a very decent living. And it's about also allowing them to have access to good, affordable health care so that a family does not go broke just because somebody gets sick in the family. And the American dream also says that if you work hard all your life, you get to retire with dignity. And the Republicans like John Cornyn and Ted Cruz are opposed to having any path to achieving any dreams in the Latino community. They want to deport them. They want to. They don't want to raise the minimum wage. I think minimum wage should be about $15 an hour. We want to make sure they get equal pay for equal work. We want to make sure that our manufacturing come back and create some school for vocational training. So many people who don't want to go to four-year college can go to a vocational school and then be able to work at a very high-tech manufacturing facility and make very good wages and very good benefit. So these are the things that Republicans are not focused on. They're focused on giving more money to Wall Street. I want to invest in our community. I want to invest in the dreams of the community.
Well, I think the Latinos and Mr. Ramirez, as head of the Nueces County chair for the Democratic Party, will agree that Latinos were a very decisive part of the election in 2012. When Mitt Romney and really made disparaging remarks about what you've just pointed out and said, no, more fences, more borders, that is not a solution. When you have people making a living of picking up cans and bottles in New York, and they used to have good manufacturing jobs, that's a problem. When we have Filemon Vela, a U.S. congressman, asking me and many other people to support a U.S. senator from up north because we don't have any representation here in Texas.
Let me mention two things. One, is that the Republicans shipped our job overseas. We used to have jobs. Second, both Republicans are opposed to any kind of measure that we are seeking for our community to make our life better, especially any issue that has to do with the Latino community. They're opposed to it. That's the only way that they can please their Republican base. Third, I want to mention that we waited 50 years for the Berlin Wall to fall between the Soviet Union and the West, and now the Republicans are wanting to build a wall, another Berlin Wall on our border. It's despicable to even suggest it.
I think that instead of building walls, we should be building bridges to bring people together. And how can, we've got a couple of minutes left, Mr. Ramirez, how can we help this candidate, the good doctor, to get people to get yard signs, to vote for him, to get behind him as a United States Senator?
He'll have a staffer there at the Unity headquarters, 823 North Tonkawa. You can stop on by Monday through Saturday, 8 to 5. The headquarters will be open between now and the primary, March 4th. You can stop on by every Monday night. There is a volunteer training program where you can come out and help volunteer and work for either the party or Mr. Alameel to help bring out the vote in March. So there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. You can always stop by. My number, I'm sure Diamond Dave will put it on the screen, 232-9670. Just give us a call and we'll tell you exactly what you can do. There's plenty of opportunities. First day of early voting is February 18th through the 28th. Election day is March 4th. And, we're excited. There's momentum here in South Texas. We've got a great ballot, and we're looking forward to carrying this momentum on into November.
It's an honor to have you on, knocking on 200,000 doors right now. We have 30 seconds left. What would you tell a person that's opening the door and say, why should I vote for you instead of John Cornyn?
Because I'm going to fight for them and for their children the way I fight for my own family.
Very well said. And that is Dr. Alameel. If you want to get involved, please tell me you have a Facebook so I can become your friend.
Yes, we do.
Okay, good.
David Alameel for U.S. Senate.
Recuerda que su voto es su voto. Si no puedes registrar a votar, ahora pronto lo haces porque necesitas una carta de identificación a ir a votar, porque tiene valor su voto. Y recuerde que su voto es su voz. And Joseph, last
Let me
closing
close
comment.
with this. Because of the voter ID, if you're 65 and older, you're eligible for mail-in ballots for the entire year.
Mail-in ballot.
You come on in, we'll help you get whatever forms you need to fill out. They'll send you your ballot to your home. You don't have to worry about a photo ID or anything. I know a lot of our listeners here on this station are seniors that are listening at home right now. Si tiene la edad de 65 o mayor, puede usted pedir una boleta para que le manden en el correo. Vaya por las oficinas, 823 North Tonkawa, o me llaman en mi celular 232-9670 y yo les doy las formas que necesitan firmar para mandar al estado y le mandan su boleta a la casa y no se tienen que preocupar de nada.
Bien dicho. Y David Alameel, David Alameel, your next United States Senator. Get involved, Facebook, like him, and contact the headquarters. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. I
All right.
appreciate it.
And we're out of
I'm
time.
privileged.
Thank you. God bless you.